Let's start with our second guest for today. She's Megan Nilsson, and then she will have...
Good morning, Milan. I know you're all probably really tired because you were celebrating last night. I hope you had a fantastic conference. I'm going to make this as fun and as immersive as possible. It's good. And I'm excited to get started with you today. So my topic is NFTs and the massive untapped potential there is in this market and how they're going to revolutionize our lives. So that's going to be the topic. I'm also going to touch a little bit about on the markets now and the state of the market and how we should be acting and how we should be reacting and kind of give you guys some insights based on the journey that I've had and my experience in this. So just going to explain a little bit about my background. My name is Crypto Megan. Go by Crypto Megan on social media. I am a high-end portfolio, NFT and crypto portfolio consultant, so for investors, companies, celebrities. And recently, within the past 2 years, I decided I'm going to push a little bit more on the education side because I believe that knowledge shouldn't be limited to the people at the top. I want to make this a conversation that's much more inclusive, that makes people feel like they can get involved, ask questions. I know this industry is very intimidating for a lot of people, and if you don't know something, you might feel ashamed to ask or ashamed to get involved. And so I want to break it down. I want to give people information they can trust. I want you guys to get started in a meaningful way. And for those of you who are also professionals in this industry, I think this is our responsibility, is to help people get involved and to help them understand in a meaningful way so that they can start building and they can start investing and they can get on board this movement, right? So that's a little bit about my background. I have a private group as well. So instead of just doing the high-end investing, which has a $1 million entry point for high-end investors, and by the way, I never touch the funds. So the way that I do it is I consult for them. So we use a trusted broker in Australia for them to be able to start investing, and the money goes through there, and I consult for those companies or for those investors or celebrities. But recently I launched a Patreon group where you can have access to my research and all my knowledge and daily updates on the market for $39.99. So it's a much more doable thing per month, so you can have access to all of that. So I'm going to get right into it. These are some of my NFTs here. I came directly from NFT NYC to be here. We cut our trip a little bit short because it was important for me to be able to be here in Milan. So I just wanted to comment on NFT NYC and some of the things that are going on there. It's incredible. We did a lot of events kind of outside of NFT NYC, but the events that were organized for the NFT groups like Bored Ape Yacht Club, World of Women, we got to see Madonna, we got to network with people who are in the art industry, we got to know people. I mean, this is what part of the utility of NFTs is bringing together a community and allowing us to network, allowing us to grow and to build within those communities. And it was absolutely incredible. I met the CEO of Bored Ape Yacht Club, who is actually a woman. I don't think a lot of people know, because it is a highly male-centric kind of projected NFT club, but there are many women in this club. Actually, I'm in a private group called Bored Ape Ladies, and we rallied together. We made a brunch there, and we met the CEO. She was absolutely incredible. Her name is Nicole Muniz. She is working together with a lead strategist who's also a woman, and also the creative directors, which are all women in Bored Ape Yacht Club. And the reason why I bring this up is because this is also my goal, is to help advocate for women in Web3, because we need to do that. We need to give them a place where they feel they can take their space here and step up and shine if they have value to add. So on one more note from one of the conferences, I did a fireside chat with the vice president of Binance, her name was Helen Hai, and she was discussing her vision on the blockchain is absolutely incredible. And one of the things she wanted to stress is that the blockchain's purpose is to provide the free transmission of value. It's absolutely incredible. And so, what the internet did for brick and mortar, Web3 will do for internet, brick and mortar combined. This is a new layer of the internet where we have ownership of that. We are part of this now. We're getting paid for our interactions and our time and everything else. It's absolutely incredible. So I'm going to jump right into it now. This is a little bit about my background. I'm in Bored Ape Yacht Club, World of Women, and Doodles, and all of these kind of NFT blue chips that I believe are going to be very, very successful over time. And Doodles, for example, had the most incredible stand in NFT NYC. They just announced they're working with Pharrell as one of their creative directors. And you know, their mission is to provide joy. That was also another topic seen around the world, is that this technology is meant to provide joy and happiness and cut out the intermediaries, give artists a platform to be free, to express themselves, to, to not have limits and be bound by the traditional constraints of what has made up this world previously. So these are just a few photos from conferences we've been to around the world, and incredible people. Michael Saylor, who obviously is a very visionary within this space. We have Akon, who he's doing his A-coin in Africa. Incredible things happening in Africa. And yeah, it's been a really amazing ride. So this is just, I'm gonna get started about my own journey, because part of this talk is to inspire you who are getting started. Maybe some of you are feeling a little bit down in the bear market and like you got burned, maybe you lost a little bit of money, or maybe you're confused about what you should do now. And I wanna make it crystal clear how this is going to play out for you, because I always tell people how I got started in this industry. I invested back in the last bear market. My first heavy investment was Cardano at around 6 cents. And you know, it went up to $3 at the height of this bull run. And these are the numbers you would have if you had made a small investment by believing in this technology and understanding it and doing research, okay? And you know, this is just like one of my predictions about where Cardano is gonna hit in the next bull run. So this is just to show you what a small investment could do, and the way that you get there is through education or through following people who understand, and you find those undervalued projects and you invest early. And right now, people always tell me, well, what about me? The train has already passed. It's categorically untrue. The train is back. One of the things about this market, this isn't my first bear market. It's not my first rodeo, and these markets are forgiving in the way that if you feel like you missed the boat, you absolutely didn't. I mean, this is like coming back full circle now. Now you have the chance to do this with just the smallest investment can be life-changing. And so part of this is the financial revolution, financial empowerment, but it's also a cultural revolution, which we're gonna see now. And NFTs are gonna run our entire lives. We're gonna get into our cars, we're gonna unlock our houses, we're gonna get into concerts. I mean, this is gonna make our lives easier, which is the goal of technology. You know, and this movement is so much bigger than a $600,000 cat gift or a $3 million tweet. This is the story about human psychology and the way that we value things over time, how that shifted because of the technology. And that technology is gonna revolutionize our lives. So this is changing the way we see the world, right? So this is just to show you how early we are. And I really need to stress this, because I think a lot of people forget about this, and a lot of people feel that they're late, but we are just at the beginning of this movement. If you see there on the technology adoption curve, we are right there in early adopters. I mean, it's so small. The crypto, the entire market cap, well, now is under $1 trillion, I believe. Gold is at 11 trillion. We are so small. We are so small in the grand scheme of things. So now, you know, we saw Kevin O'Leary at Miami BTC, and he said, you know, if you're one of the fortunate few to be able to invest right now, to be able to build right now, set yourself up as one of the front runners of Web3, man, you're set. The capital is gonna come pouring in once we have regulation. There are trillions of dollars sitting on the sidelines waiting to get involved in this movement because they're unclear about regulation. So those of us who have the wherewithal and the knowledge and the drive to invest now are setting ourselves up for absolute success in the future, right? And then you can see here, this is compared to the internet. We're growing much, much faster than the internet did. And just to give you an idea, we are about 300 million users right now. By the end of the decade, the next 9 years, we're gonna onboard 3.4 billion more users. So just think about that when you think that you're late to the party. This is something that's illustrating that in the technology adoption curve graph. So that's where we are. You are the small minority that's lucky enough to be involved now. So Coinbase saying NFTs are going to be bigger than the crypto market, that crypto adoption will happen through NFTs, and I absolutely agree with that. NFTs are going to be what captures the mainstream attention. It's going to be what keeps them engaged in bear markets, what keeps them from, packing up and going home. Once crypto dies, they have nothing left to talk about. I mean, you guys have no idea. I don't know if any of you have been to NFT NYC and attended some of these events, but the way that it brings the community together and the networking that we've done, and you just feel there was such an energy. It didn't feel like doom and gloom and this is all going away overnight. It was incredible to witness, and this is most definitely not going away. So, the successful companies will continue to build in the background, but it's like Warren Buffett says, when the tide goes out, you can actually discover who's swimming naked. And that's what happens in bear markets. Things that are broken are things that don't work. They're going to have to reset and find another way to do things to make them better. So actually, it is quite a healthy thing in that aspect. And we're going to rebuild and build this foundation to which we can launch off of. So this is just what I was talking about earlier. NFTs will start cars, open houses, gate real-world events, represent ownership contracts for million-dollar real-world assets. The JPEG is just a test to see how closely you're looking underneath the surface. So the picture is just a representation of what's really happening, which is digital ownership verified on the blockchain. That's huge. You're going to be able to buy a house from anywhere in the world in a matter of seconds or minutes. And there will be no intermediaries. There will be no banks you have to wait on in the slow, sluggish, old ways that are dying. So this is going to revolutionize our lives in so many ways. And so what I was discussing earlier, Web3 is about property and ownership. It's a new layer of the internet that gives us so much more power. But the thing about that power is that we have to take responsibility for that power. Because a lot of the narratives that I'm seeing around the world is everything is great and fine when things are going up. People are happy. They're making a lot of money. But when things go down, they want somebody to call. Hey, who stole my NFT? Or why did this happen? Or I just lost a lot of money. In this movement, we need to take responsibility for our education if we want to have the power of generational wealth, of freedom, freedom of expression, freedom as an artist. So, that's why I'm pushing so hard on education, because this is an incredible gift we've been given, and in order to keep that from happening, we need to actually take that responsibility on ourselves to learn as much as we can. And this is so powerful. It's hard to actually get it. True digital ownership, though, once you get it, you will never look at the world the same way again. So I want you to think about this when you go home today, whether you're a builder or you're looking to start a business or you're an artist and you're just getting your feet wet. Don't hesitate to keep going and to stay engaged, because there's so many possibilities and there's space for absolutely everyone in this room, whether you're a speaker, an educator, or you have a company. There is so much room for all of it. And this is just kind of talking about what I touched upon earlier, how NFTs can act as actual house deeds, denoting ownership of a file on the internet. And the really cool thing about that is that, you can sell your house. This is one example of a house, a multi-million-dollar mansion that's for sale in Florida. It's actually for sale through an NFT, and you get the digital version of that house, a replica of that house in the metaverse that people can go and visit. So think about this. If you're a real estate agent and you can do these viewings in the metaverse from anywhere in the world, and people can buy that house through an NFT. So, this is going to cut out intermediaries. It's going to change the way we do things forever. And it's very, very cool. And also a way for them to rise in value even more, because so many more people can see them, view them, experience them. This is just a funny thing, just to have this all into context. The American starter home style evolution, how it's been going, the first house you ever purchase. And for many people, the first house they will ever purchase is a digital land, a digital space in the metaverse. And that's so crazy to think about. That's a picture of an other deed from Bored Ape Yacht Club. So, the times are changing and the way people invest is changing. And it's just funny to kind of recognize. And I see people sometimes, I had a conversation after VCon, but why are people investing in these ridiculous drawings, so much money? The drawings are just a representation of the digital ownership attached underneath. And what you're really buying into is the company, the people behind it, the community, and the actual utility of it. So I know a lot of people who are outside the movement, they get angry about this, but people are making so much money and trading things that look like this animal. But it's really what's underneath that matters, and the value and utility you get that matters. Gary Vee just did an incredible conference in Minnesota, Minneapolis, called VCon, and it was a really incredible success. These are some future use cases of NFTs by the end of the decade. So we've got tradable games, ownership of your username and assets, the real estate industry, documentation, passports, medical records, everything. Just to give you guys one real-world example, my husband runs a fitness industry, certified personal trainers, and we have our diplomas on the blockchain. So nobody can fake things anymore, and people have the proof there. We don't need to, build a resume and try to get people to call. No, it's on the blockchain, and you can see everything very transparently. So it just allows us to do so many more things. The ticketing industry, obviously, access for customers to pre-sales, downloading apps. This is going to revolutionize the way brands interact with us. Samsung just did a drop, and whoever participated in the drop got special perks for their new phone. It's a way for them to engage with their customers. Proof of travel, space exploration, it's endless. The possibilities are endless to what we can do here. They're here to stay and only going to be bigger and better and more game-changing than any of us can imagine. Even in our wildest dreams, everything has changed, and it's important to keep an open mind. I mean, we're standing here, we're talking about Doodles and Bored Ape Yacht Club, which I've been a part of from the start. When the reason why I discovered Bored Ape Yacht Club before anybody found out about it was because I was in the Discord and I heard grown men making ape sounds in the morning, and I was like, why are these people so excited about this? This is insane. I mean, just making ape sounds. So happy to be together at a part of this, and it grew from the ground up. It cost $200 to mint one of these, and they didn't even sell out. So, there's something here. This is a movement. It's so much bigger than the monkey pictures. It's a society. It's a community. This is something I saw in Dubai. It was somebody trying to fit a gigantic, massive painting into the plane, and it didn't really work because, logistics. So I thought, has this man ever heard of NFTs? This is an exceptional use case. I mean, you're going to be able to display your artwork in your house for anybody in the world to come over and appreciate and look, and the value is going to go up because of that. So, and also doing discussions in Spain about real estate sales in the metaverse. There's an article that's been put out, this is going to be a $1 billion industry. It's absolutely correct, and this is where we should be looking and kind of like shifting our attention. Whatever your specialty is, you should be thinking about how you can, pivot to Web3 or start thinking about how you can use the power of this technology. This is the Sandbox Metaverse. I don't know if how many of you are familiar with this or if you've invested in land, but I also believe that digital land is going to be a massive trend. The problem is none of this stuff is built yet. So people get bored, they pack up, they go home. But this is when we pay attention. This is when we need to engage because there's something really incredible happening here. So I actually have a space here. You can't see it here. Near Bored Ape Yacht Club. I decided early on, I bought it when it was worth almost nothing. I mean, really cheap. And I'm neighbors to Deadmau5, if you guys know, one of the top DJs in the world. And I'm going to have office hours there. I decided to buy that land by the Bored Ape Yacht Club for Bored Ape Yacht Club members to have office hours. I just hope that Deadmau5 isn't too loud and that we can hear each other, but also that he invites me to a concert. If this sounds crazy, you better believe this is going to be life, Yep. Do I get to listen to Deadmau5 for free? I can imagine he'll invite me to a few concerts or two, being neighbors and all. Yeah, exactly, right? So the metaverse, we're going to capture walking traffic. I mean, we're going to do our advertisements in our digital space. We're going to build that digital space just like we build on the internet, WordPress. I mean, people are like buying office furniture and decorating their homes and stuff in the metaverse. So it might sound a little bit crazy, but this is where we're headed. So the sooner we can grasp and wrap our heads around it, the better we can take advantage of this and set ourselves up for success and also be a part of this cultural revolution, right? So another thing that I feel really passionate about is educating people on what they're actually doing when they buy NFTs and interacting with these smart contracts. When I was at VCon, do you guys know Beeple, the artist? He's a very famous digital artist. He sold one of his paintings for $69 million. He was at the conference, and somebody hacked his Twitter, and Seth Green actually clicked on a link from that, and he lost all of his apes, all of his Bored Apes that he had already made a TV show for, his Doodle, his Mutant, I mean, a disaster. And people were like, how did that happen? Oh my God, he got hacked. He did not get hacked, people. He clicked on a malicious link, and he signed a contract that he wasn't aware he was signing to drain his NFTs to that wallet. So I think it's really important that we also focus on education so that we can protect our digital assets, right? So when I talk about smart contracts, I like to explain it like a vending machine. So when you want something, you actually type in the number that you want, and it's pre-programmed that if you pay for that, the correct amount of money, that product will come out. And that's basically the easy way to explain smart contracts, right? It's a pre-programmed contract that will execute if both of the parameters are met. The problem is a lot of people sign things that they don't know they're signing, and so they sign away their NFTs. And I don't want that to happen. This was what I was explaining earlier about realtors still playing a pivotal role. So people might say, okay, well, is real estate going to die? Is there no need for real estate agents? Of course there will be. I mean, you still have to search for the house, even if it is in the metaverse. What it's doing is making life easier and more efficient, cutting out the intermediaries like the banks and the lawyers. Well, lawyers will still be involved, but in a much easier, frictionless way. So this is Shaq and his take on owning land. It's kind of like a McDonald's play, that their actual real business is owning the land that's behind all the McDonald's. Well, now we have the chance to do that in the metaverse because it's so underdeveloped and it's so untapped still. So, you know, this is the new Five Guys opportunity, or even better than owning a Vegas casino or nightclub. That's how powerful this is. That's how amazing this opportunity that we have is to invest. And I'm telling you, when I started investing in the land, the valuations went sky high. The next day I said, okay, I'm going to buy another piece of land right next door. And that same piece of land was already at 20 ETH, valued at around like $80,000 or $90,000 for a small square in the sandbox. That's how high it went up. It's come all the way back down. You guys are now in time to do this again. Yeah, if they release another set of land and the prices drop, well, they do have some land that will come for sale periodically, but the way that they do that is they do it in small portions and over time. So when you think about it, I mean, it's something like 200,000 plots, and how many people there are in this world, it's actually not that much if you consider, and a lot of people buy big portions of land, like Snoop Dogg. He's got a mansion in the metaverse. I mean, he's got like, I don't know, a 20 by 20 plot, you know? So it's not that much when you consider many people buy even more than one plot. Yeah. So this is a question I get a lot. What if other metaverses develop, and where should I be focusing if I'm a brand or if I want to build an experience? And the answer to that is they will develop. There's an amazing one right here at the conference called Nemesis. It's amazing, but they all serve different purposes. And my thought on that is I definitely want to stake my claim where all the big players are, where all the people are, because the metaverses that will succeed are the ones that have the audience and the traction and the people. The first mover advantage, we must not discount that as well. So right now, all of the big players and all the people have a lot of stake in the sandbox, but I'm sure there will be ones more to come that will also be successful, and they'll all have their different roles as well. And there's not to say that we can't be in multiple metaverses. So this is now I'm going to discuss a little bit about Bored Ape Yacht Club. I'm really passionate about this NFT, and now you have the chance to get into this club for basically almost what I got in for dollar value, not quite so low, but the ETH is higher. But now is an excellent opportunity to be looking at these blue chips if you want to be a part of them for the future. It's incredible what they've been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time, and for me, it's just a pinnacle of the cultural revolution and a new way for brands to connect with consumers. I mean, so many people build their businesses around the IPs of the apes. It's incredible. All of their businesses there. I mean, we had coffee, we had even marijuana industry, we had everything you can ever imagine. They're creating value around this brand. And the evolution of NFTs, you know, they're going to evolve over time. It's not to say, oh, well, Bored Ape Yacht Club or Doodles, they're fit into just one narrative. They evolve. Technology evolves. Bored Ape Yacht Club, the only use case it had in the beginning was if you had an ape, you could go and draw in the bathroom. And so that was what it had, and it still was something very cool, very underground, and it's evolved to what it is now, to be becoming a metaverse. So this is just an example of when I bought my 2 mutants. They were at 4 ETH and 3.8 ETH, $15,000, and as you can see, right now they're about like 18 or 19 ETH, but they're $20,000. They're in the same vicinity. These guys ran up to $140,000 at the top of the market. And not only that, but we got a free airdrop of $40,000, and Bored Apes got around $90,000 in free airdrop. So, I mean, just for being a part of these communities, you're getting rewarded. And we've been given a second chance in this bear market. So instead of packing up, we should be thinking about how can we hustle? How can we bring money in so that we can invest in this movement and be a part of it? Because we've been given a second chance, and we're in a bear market, and we have time to learn and time to accumulate. So this is just what I was speaking on before about the ApeCoin airdrop and all of the amazing things that they're going to be developing in the future. I believe they're going to start announcing the utility of their metaverse in July. So before then, we've got time, you know, before the hype. And this is just an example of some of the communities that I've met around the world on my tour. It's just incredible to see how it brings people together. I mean, right here, these are people from, I think they're from the streets in Compton, you know, in a rough part of LA, and they decided to clean up and kind of like get people involved in this Web3 movement as a way to occupy their time instead of being on the streets. And so it's bringing all of these people together from all over the world with one common mission, and that is to like onboard people into this movement and help them understand the power. All of the celebrities that then got involved and on board, actually for the first time, celebrities have a useful value in this, because before when a celebrity would talk about crypto, it'd be like, okay, it's time to exit because this isn't a good sign. What do they know about crypto? But now they help validate because they help get more eyes involved. So that's part of how the Bored Ape Yacht Club movement actually blew up. And we had people like DJ Khaled, Shaq, you know, Stephen Curry, all these people who are getting on board and actually like enjoy this. People are making this their identity, you know? And actually you get respect just by going around with Basie Macy Holder in the Discord. It's a whole weird new kind of paradigm shift where, you know, it's not about physical material goods anymore. It's about digital IP and that kind of respect in that way. So, and then people say, oh, but it's about helping the rich get richer. And don't forget, this was $200. So for anybody who was paying attention, your life changed. And you have that opportunity again right now today. I'm telling you, it's happening right now today. So if you stay engaged during this bear market, you don't leave and you continue to learn, you can do this too. And things are much more transparent now. People are on top of what's happening. It's a power in the community, and the community is calling people out. You can no longer be a brand that slides by and gets away with things. For example, okay, so we got to wrap up. I'm really passionate about this. I could go on about this forever and ever and ever. But there's so many things happening in the music industry. One thing Snoop Dogg did, he's allowing people to download his music that he makes through his Death Row Records online. We can remix the tracks and have ownership to that music. So there are so many things that are changing around the world because of this. This is just a movement about women and getting involved, and how this is going to be like a bubbling thing that explodes, women getting involved in Web3. And it will seem like it happened overnight, but it didn't. It's been happening throughout the years, and it's a very important part of the narrative because it's a different perspective, and maybe a perspective that wasn't there in the traditional financial world. So it's very important to me also to advocate for those women. So the key takeaways, just gonna sum this up for you guys in a few sentences. We are now in a bear market. I do believe it's one of the best opportunities you may ever have to invest in these digital assets. It could go on for a while. Probably it will start to shift when the Federal Reserve in the United States changes their stance on the economy and they stop the tightening. But you know, right now is an excellent opportunity to get involved. And this is a movement that no one man and no government can control. It cannot be stopped and it cannot be banned. So, you know, it's going to continue to be there. We're all going to build together, and this is going to be incredible for the world. So thank you for showing up. I know you had a really busy night last night. Really excited to see you all, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.